Why every morning millions of Americans over 65 still wake up before sunrise. Not to enjoy retirement, but to get ready for work. Not because they want to, but because they have no choice. They should be resting, traveling, spending time with grandkids. Instead, they're putting on uniforms, clocking in at warehouses, greeting customers at grocery stores, and driving rideshare cars across town. For many of them, the dream of retirement has vanished, replaced by the brutal reality of rising costs, shrinking savings, and a system that no longer protects them. These are not rare stories. This is the new normal in 2025. And the real question isn't just, why are they still working? It's, how did we let it get this bad? Because make no mistake, this isn't just a financial issue. It's a national shift, a warning sign of deeper cracks in the American promise. Today, we'll explore the hidden reasons why more and more seniors are still working in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. We'll uncover the hard truths the media avoids, and we'll tell you what no one else is saying out loud. This is not just a story about older workers. It's about the future you might be walking into, and the fight for dignity that millions can no longer afford to lose. Let's start with the numbers. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, over 11 million Americans aged 65 and older are still in the workforce as of 2025, the highest it's ever been. By 2030, that number is projected to rise even more. But these statistics don't tell the whole story. Behind each number is a face, a story, a life that didn't go as planned. Retirement used to mean freedom, the reward for decades of hard work. Now, for many, it's become a luxury, something fewer and fewer people can actually afford. Why is this happening? The first and most obvious reason is money. Inflation hasn't just made life more expensive, it's made retirement almost impossible for millions. The cost of groceries, rent, medication, utilities, everything is higher. People who spent their whole lives budgeting for retirement based on one cost of living are now finding themselves overwhelmed. A monthly retirement check that used to be enough now barely covers the basics. Some seniors are skipping meals to pay for insulin. Others are picking up part-time jobs just to afford their prescriptions. This isn't financial planning, it's survival. But inflation is only one piece of the puzzle. Many older Americans are still working because their retirement plans failed. Or worse, they never had one. For decades, the promise of 401ks and personal savings replaced the traditional pension. But not everyone had access to those plans. And even those who did were hit hard by market crashes, job losses, family emergencies, and rising medical bills. One bad year can erase decades of saving. And Social Security, which was supposed to be the safety net, now provides, on average, around $1,800 a month. That's it. And that's supposed to cover everything? So seniors go back to work. Not because they want to chase dreams, but because they're running from debt, fear, and uncertainty. They take jobs they never imagined having. They become Uber drivers, Walmart greeters, delivery couriers, night shift janitors. Some work with swollen joints and chronic pain. Some take naps in their cars between shifts. Some smile through the exhaustion because they have no other option. But let's be clear, this crisis is not just economic. It's emotional, psychological, existential. Because when someone spends 40 years of their life working and contributing to society, only to find themselves bagging groceries at 70, something breaks inside. The American promise breaks. And it sends a message not just to the elderly, but to everyone watching that no amount of hard work guarantees you rest, peace, or dignity. There's also a deeper layer here that's rarely talked about. Identity. For many, work is more than just income. It's purpose. It's social interaction. It's meaning. Retirement, while freeing on paper, can leave people feeling lost, invisible, irrelevant. So some seniors choose to keep working not just to pay the bills, but to feel alive, to stay connected, to matter. And yet, even those who want to work face another barrier, ageism. Employers don't say it out loud, but they think it. Too slow, too old, too much of a risk. So seniors take whatever job they can get, often underpaid, overworked, and undervalued. Their resumes get ignored, their experience gets discounted, and their loyalty is rarely rewarded. But it gets worse. Because the fastest growing group of workers today, it's not young people entering the job market. It's people over 65 staying in it. Why? Because they have no choice. And society is quietly relying on them to fill labor shortages, to care for others, to keep the economy moving while giving them the bare minimum in return. Now, let me tell you about Harold. He's 73. He spent 35 years working construction, retired at 65, thinking he'd finally get to relax. Then his wife was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Their savings drained in 2 years. So Harold now drives a shuttle van at the airport 5 days a week, not because he loves it, but because it's the only way to keep the lights on and the medicine coming. Then there's Teresa. She's 69, used to be a teacher. After retiring, she found herself lonely, isolated, and depressed. Her husband passed away. Her kids live states away. She now works 3 days a week at a bookstore. The pay helps. But the real reason she's there? To feel seen. To talk to someone. To belong. These stories, Harold's, Teresa's, millions more, are not sad exceptions. They are the quiet reality of aging in America. A reality that's spreading, that's growing, and that's being ignored. We don't talk about it because we don't want to admit it could happen to us. But if nothing changes, it will. This is the future. Not just for seniors today, but for you, me, and everyone else watching. Because if the system failed them, what makes you think it'll save us? Let me ask you something personal. Do you know someone over 65 who's still working right now? Think about them. Think about what they've been through. Then ask yourself this: is that really the kind of society we want to build? A society where elders work until their bodies give out. Where rest becomes a privilege, not a right. Where the people who built this country are asked to keep holding it up long after they were promised relief. There are ways to change this. We can reform Social Security. We can push for fair wages. We can fight age discrimination in hiring. We can support policies that actually honor the people who kept this economy alive for decades. But change starts with awareness, and awareness starts with stories like this one. So if this video made you think, really think, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Talk about it. Ask the hard questions, because one day you'll be the one asking them about yourself. And if you're already living this reality, if you're over 65 and still working, still hustling, still showing up every day when all you want is rest, then this video is for you. You're not invisible. You're not forgotten. You're not alone. You're what keeps this country running, even when the country doesn't seem to care. And for that, we see you, we honor you, and we will keep telling your stories until someone finally listens. Let's talk about the future, not just the future of work, but the future of aging. Because whether we want to admit it or not, the entire retirement model in America is being redefined. It used to be simple. You work hard for 40 years, you retire with dignity, and you enjoy the time you have left. That was the deal. That was the dream. But in 2025, that dream feels more like a fantasy. Not because people stopped working hard, but because the system stopped working for them. The reality is this: life expectancy has gone up, but financial security hasn't kept pace. People are living longer, but not necessarily better. More years to feed, house, and care for yourself, with less support, less savings, and more stress. That's a formula for disaster. And the pressure isn't just on the elderly, it's on their families too. The sandwich generation, those in their 40s and 50s, are now caught between raising kids and caring for aging parents. Some are working 2 jobs to help cover medical bills. Others are opening their homes to help mom and dad who can no longer afford rent. It's a quiet crisis unfolding in kitchens and living rooms across America, and most people won't talk about it until it's their turn. But what happens when everyone is stretched too thin? What happens when no one can afford to stop working ever? We risk creating a society where work never ends, where people die at their desks, where there's no pause, no relief, no moment to breathe. That's not just unsustainable, it's inhumane. We're not saying that working past 65 is bad. For many, it's a choice, a way to stay engaged, active, purposeful, and that's beautiful. But there's a world of difference between choosing to work and being forced to, between continuing a career you love and stocking shelves at a pharmacy because you can't afford groceries. One is freedom. The other is quiet desperation, and too often the line between them is blurred. So, what can we do? First, we need to acknowledge the problem. We need to talk about it openly, honestly, without shame. This isn't about blaming individuals for not saving enough. It's about understanding the systemic failures that led us here. Decades of stagnant wages, soaring healthcare costs, unpredictable markets, a shrinking middle class. These are not personal failures, they are policy failures. And if we don't change course, they will continue to hit the most vulnerable the hardest. Second, we need to push for smarter policies. Strengthen Social Security. Lower the age of Medicare eligibility. Cap out-of-pocket drug costs. Offer housing support for seniors in high-rent areas. Provide meaningful tax credits for caregivers. And create work environments that respect, not exploit, older workers. Let's stop pretending age equals weakness. In many cultures, the elderly are honored. In America, they're too often forgotten. And third, we need to change the culture how we view aging, how we treat our elders, how we value wisdom and experience. An older worker brings more than just labor. They bring resilience, history, patience, and perspective. We should be learning from them, not pushing them to the margins. There's also a huge opportunity in all this. The future workforce isn't just young, it's multi-generational. Imagine what we could build if we embrace that. If we created mentorship programs, if we fostered intergenerational teams, if we gave people of all ages a seat at the table. There is so much strength in a society that respects its elders, and so much to lose in one that doesn't. Here's the truth. We are all aging, every single day. So when we talk about older Americans still working, we're not just talking about them. We're talking about future you, your parents, your partner, your best friend, your neighbor. This isn't a distant issue. It's already here. And ignoring it won't make it go away. So what do we do now? Start by having the conversation. Around the dinner table, at work, in your community. Ask your parents how they're really doing. Check in on your retired neighbors. Talk to your coworkers about their future. And if you're a policymaker or a business owner, ask yourself this. What am I doing to make aging in America more humane, more sustainable, and more fair? If this video sparked something in you, if it made you feel frustrated, concerned, angry, or just more aware, then don't keep that to yourself. Share this video. Talk about it. Leave a comment. Tell us your story, or the story of someone you know. Because real change starts when people realize they're not alone and that others care. And if you're over 65 and watching this, if you've been quietly carrying the weight of a system that's let you down, if you're tired but still showing up, we see you. We thank you. And we will keep saying your name until it echoes in every boardroom, courtroom, and voting booth in this country. You are not invisible. You are the backbone of this nation, and you deserve more than survival. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve dignity. Let's make sure you, and everyone coming after you, gets exactly that. Thank you for watching.